We begin with this fact. Some Republicans are finally publicly breaking with Donald Trump's denial and 2020 plotting to overturn the election, which, of course, has hit a brick wall. We're seeing more and more of the supporters that the president has had in the Republican Party start to come to grips, at least slowly, with reality. Take Mitch McConnell, who you know hasn't broken with Donald Trump on basically most anything throughout these 4 years. Well, this is news. He's gone down to the Senate floor to reference the truth.
The Electoral College has spoken. So today I want to congratulate President-elect Joe Biden. The President-elect is no stranger to the Senate. He's devoted himself to public service for many years. I also want to congratulate the Vice President-elect, our colleague from California, Senator Harris.
That's pretty standard Senate floor stuff. The issue, of course, is not what he said, but when he said it, a month out from this election. And now Mitch McConnell stepping up and acting like today was the first day he could give that kind of ceremonial nod. Now, it's striking. We don't pick the timing around here. We just report on it. But right before McConnell's admission came one from Vladimir Putin, one of the few major heads of state to withhold a statement about what has been resolved, that President-elect Biden will become the president in January. The Kremlin had withheld the message because of, yes, Donald Trump's ongoing legal fights, however far-fetched they were. When even Vladimir Putin is saying Trump has lost, well, you know he's lost. That doesn't mean that Donald Trump will concede. He has not formally done that, although he's made more and more references to the inevitable, including this week's reference to the quote-unquote Biden administration. But Trump wants some sort of last stand in Congress. We have more on that later tonight. Meanwhile, top aides and even right-wing media allies still pretending there's some way this isn't over.
The only date in the Constitution is January 20th. So we have more than enough time to right the wrong of this fraudulent election result and certify Donald Trump as the winner of the election.
The president is still involved in ongoing litigation related to the election. Yesterday's vote was one step in the constitutional process.
Challenging election results as we await today's Electoral College decision. An intel source telling me that President Trump did, in fact, win the election.
That's a very loose use of the term in fact, because that's false. It's not a fact. And you have Donald Trump, of course, worried about the framing, the presentation of something that he can't control because he will no longer be president. Axios now reporting Trump tells aides, if we don't win, I don't say lose, I say I don't win. Take that word strategy for what it's worth. Meanwhile, Joe Biden has had enough. We've reported here, and some have even said he's been too diplomatic, too nice about this. Well, here's Joe Biden really hitting a note we haven't seen before during the transition.
The Trump campaign brought dozens and dozens and dozens of legal challenges to test the result. They were heard again and again. And each of the time they were heard, they were found to be without merit. The court sent a clear signal to President Trump that there would be no part of an unprecedented assault on our democracy. Now it's time to turn the page, as we've done throughout our history, to unite, to heal.
Our coverage begins tonight with presidential historian John Meacham. He does unofficially advise Joe Biden from time to time, so we note that for context. Michelle Goldberg from the New York Times and Sally Cohn, a writer and Democratic strategist, depending on the year. Good to see all of you. Sally, I think of you for your political insights, and I wonder what you see in this moment where so much that should be normal ceremony, the electors yesterday, these things that happen on the Senate floor, has become itself imbued with something more because of all the denial.
You know, there's one way of looking at it, which is that, right? We sort of had this sense of normalcy and now that's torn asunder. And another way of looking at this is that this has actually been the normal operating procedure for Republicans for decades. And they are showing yet again, they don't care about the rule of law. They don't care about the rule of the voters. In fact, the only rule they care about is minority rule, preserving what is, in fact, a small number of economic elites and a small number of social reactionaries stranglehold on the politics of this country. And if they, Mitch McConnell's making a very clear calculus. He couldn't overturn the results of the election. So now he's going to do what he can to hold a stranglehold over the Georgia outcome and continue to hold the country hostage. I mean, literally holding poor people hostage right before the holidays, not giving any kind of additional extension of benefits and relief to the people in this country who are struggling because he wants to help big corporations and the super rich. That has been their rule all along, and they're sticking to it.
Well, Sally, I don't say this every time we talk, but right now you're channeling a little Mitt Romney, whether you realize it or not. He was a Republican nominee. I mean, he knows the party. He knows how to win a nomination. And he spoke about exactly what you're saying, that Trumpism is not going away. He has, in his own way, objected to aspects of it at times. And also talking about the prospect of working with Biden. Given Sally's points, Michelle, take a listen to Romney.
We need to come together and work with the new president, work with Republicans and Democrats. If you look at the people who are rumored to be thinking of running in 2024, besides the president, those are people who are trying to appeal to kind of a populist approach. So I don't think Trumpism is going away.
And Michelle, if Trumpism's not going away, that means that the hate, the demagoguery, and specifically the idea that elections don't have to matter would presumably, according to Romney, not be going away either in that party. Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.